The legal problems for Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks continue. Yes, it could actually get worse. What's going on now? We'll discuss that coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have more breaking news on Evander Kane's situation. Late last night, there was an article released through The Athletic indicating that the legal problems for Evander Kane have actually taken a step worse. I know it might be hard to believe given everything that's been going on with him. I mean, just to give you a quick recap here on the situation, and then we'll get into the latest updates on this evolving situation, which is really looking like it's going to ruin and kind of end his career. At least that's what I think is going to happen, but I guess only time will tell. Now, of course, we know he's gone through a very public bankruptcy. Obviously, he's made a lot of money through his NHL career, but he's also ended up with over, I think it was $27 million in debt. A lot of it appears to be due to gambling issues and addictions, so that's certainly a big part of it. He's also gone through a very public and somewhat nasty divorce with his, I'm not sure what to call her, I guess soon-to-be ex-wife. And then she's put him on absolute blast on social media, and not that long ago, really calling him out for a variety of things, including his, I guess, lack of effort in their daughter's situation, and actually spending time and being a parent. But from a legal standpoint, the bigger issue was that she accused him of gambling on NHL games, including games that he's actually participated in, and he's now under investigation by the NHL. Now, this very well could lead to a suspension. It could lead to a ban. It's really hard to say. It really boils down to what they can prove and what they cannot prove, and it's hard to actually say. You know, in the last year, Evander Kane was probably the San Jose Sharks' best player. So it's kind of hard to imagine too many situations, at least at that point, that he could have been purposely trying to lose games. I mean, when you're talking about players impacting the outcome intentionally like that, you're looking at, helping them lose. And that just doesn't appear to be, at least in my opinion, something that he could have a lot of control over. Now, if he was a goaltender, I could see. Goaltenders, to me, are probably the only position in hockey who can have, more impact on their own when it comes to like throwing a game or something to that effect. But where there's so many players on the ice and it's such a team sport, I'm not entirely convinced at this point that he would have been involved with that. Now, would he have bet on games that, maybe he played in, bet against his team? I wouldn't rule out that stuff. That's hard to say. But I'm just not convinced that he's, purposely, trying to impact the outcome and force them to lose. So we'll see on that and how all those allegations, get investigated and how everything goes. But the latest here is that he's being forced to go through a situation and deal with through the bankruptcy court that he's basically had another lady that he's was paying off or accused of offering money to abort their pregnancy. Now, Evander Kane has apparently had, I'm not sure exactly, but the relations with this lady on multiple occasions, and they've also had, situations where she's had 3 abortions, and he's given her money to make it go away, so to speak, each time. And the second time that she did this, it was believed that he gave her around $125,000, and this time, she's saying that he had offered between $2 and $3 million to move forward with the abortion, and that once she proved to him that it was completed, he then changed his mind and refused to pay, and she's been going after him through court since. Now, she actually ended up filing this quite some time ago, but because of the bankruptcy, it's now being part and handled by the bankruptcy court. So the bankruptcy judge basically had to hear this case and decide if they were going to allow it to proceed, and that's exactly what's happened here. So they have granted that he does have to face this, and this is going to become part of the legal process he's dealing with here through the bankruptcy. So essentially, this is her trying to collect on a debt, and obviously that's what happens when you go through bankruptcy, is the court has to decide what can be paid and what cannot be paid, and get everything all settled here. So essentially, the main part of this is that she's filed a separate lawsuit within the Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Basically, if he is allowed to walk away from his other debts, that this debt will be treated differently and she can still receive a form of compensation. Now, of course, she's going to be pushing to get the amount that he promised to her for completing this, but of course, that may not be possible given his financial situation and everything going on in the bankruptcy. So it is quite possible that they could end up coming to some sort of settlement and settling this out of court, and then she kind of backs off and drops the case. That is a possibility that we might end up seeing here with this, but it's only going to be time will tell as this goes through the legal proceedings here. We've seen other situations as well with some of the other creditors involved in the bankruptcy, kind of trying to go against what the bankruptcy court was allowing and all that. So this is far from over when it comes to his very public bankruptcy, and this is only going to continue to get worse as he now has to face this. So ultimately, like, this guy's had so many issues within his life in the past few years, and it's gotten to the point, as we mentioned as well, that the San Jose Sharks teammates want absolutely nothing to do with him. Yeah, they've gone to management numerous times in the past year and asked for him to be removed from the team, traded, whatever. They just don't want to be a part of this organization if he is going to be a part of it. It's been reported that General Manager Doug Wilson advised some of the other teammates that, you know, every team has their own, fair share of locker room issues, and this is kind of part of that, which is totally untrue. Yes, other teams can have locker room issues, but nothing to this effect. It'd be amazing to me that they haven't done more to remove him from the team. So right now, as we know, the NHL is investigating all of the other issues that was, accused here by his soon-to-be ex-wife with all the gambling stuff. And of course, now he faces this as well. So the past year or so for Evander Kane has not been kind. A lot of things are coming back at him here. Like I said, after going through the bankruptcy and all the accusations, I can't see a scenario where he goes to San Jose Sharks training camp and actually plays hockey this year. You would think that the team or the league is going to, at some point here before training camp starts, have to announce that he's been indefinitely suspended or something to that effect. I mean, there's just no way. I'm sure the San Jose Sharks at this point would probably like to find a way to terminate the contract, and I think they have more than enough grounds based on what we've seen in the past with other situations. But I know when it comes to that, obviously from a legal perspective, they're going to want to proceed with caution and do lots of legal checking to see what their options are here. But the Kane situation actually, continues to get worse, even though I thought that the accusations of gambling on NHL games, which would likely come out of a lifetime ban if it were proven to be true, just goes to show that this guy is absolutely needing to step away from the game, step away from this team, and get his life together if he's able to, because this is just getting worse here by the minute. So let me know your thoughts on the latest Evander Kane situation. Do you see this maybe being settled out of court? Do you see a scenario where this guy can actually show up to training camp and actually play hockey this year? I don't see how that's possible, but we'll have to wait for more information to come from the NHL and the Sharks organization to see how they're going to handle this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.